Welcome, everybody, to the Tipped and Stiff podcast with your hosts, Cade Alvarez and
Jarod Sturridge.
I bet you wonder where I am. Sorry we missed a week, people. We're in a different studio. We missed a week. I know, we are little whores, aren't we? Little
Dirty little
daddy's little
sluts.
whores. And that's okay. Right now we're in a basement. We're in a basement in Thailand.
Not just a basement.
We're in a basement in Thailand. We took 3 flights, no mask. Talking about raw dog and life. No mask, international flight in Thailand.
Surprisingly cheap. About $150 round trip.
Per ticket, round trip. Yeah, prices are low right now. I was thinking... we were like, nothing's really happened. I mean, there is things happening, and there is, in the 2 weeks has been a little low on the news. Everyone's talking about the Omicron variant.
That's the real vax.
Which is pretty much I love they measure this variant by how it's affecting like 20-year-olds, and 20-year-olds like get the sniffles. So, but the thing is that they're happy about this one because they think that this is going to be the variant that mutates into like the common cold, where it like goes a step down. So pretty much, if you needed like a comparison, think about how if you're young and listening to this, your life is probably will never be as good as like your grandparents, because your grandparents have like a baller house. They have like health insurance. They went to school, or maybe they worked in a factory for a long time, and they got to constantly like give money to your parents to bail them out of debt. So like that's kind of how you got to think about it. So like the first one was like Alpha, which is your grandparents. Your parents are Delta, and you're Omicron. So like it just gets more disappointing as we go along. But that's not your...
It gets weaker as it goes on.
Yeah, it gets
disappointing. I'm happy that it's weaker.
Well, yeah, we have to... Yeah, here's the thing. I was just paying an analogy. No, it's good that it's weaker. I just needed people to understand the bridge, because, when John Oliver gets on to do the Last Week Tonight show, he just doesn't... he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand the generations that are going on here. We need to, as young people, we need to paint the picture of the world. So now
he thinks he's funny.
Omicron is the college dropout on your parents' health insurance until 25, which nothing wrong with that. But if you just need to understand, you'll probably never own a home. Like Omicron, that Omicron will never own a home and rent for the rest of his life.
It'll never be COVID-19.
Yeah, right.
It'll never be coronavirus.
Yeah,
2020.
You think of your like a lot of people's grandpas were like, they were good. Some of them were, they get a little racy at times, but that I can't control that. They're great. They're these patriarchal figures.
They're symbols at a certain point. They're just photographs at a certain point. Yeah. And they're footnotes, and they have some wisdom.
And when they pass, kind of like the original COVID,
yeah,
people go, "That was crazy." That was.
And they're like, "Damn, we did a lot."
Right.
We got a lot of shit taken care of.
Right.
That's why they're called the greatest generation. And then COVID-19 is the greatest mutation.
Right. And then you have Delta. And that's kind of like that's the offspring of the greatest generation. That they're just not as...
That's the boomers, I guess.
It's not as cool, because like COVID-19...
They were given a lot, They were riding off the coattails of the first generation, much like Delta, off the coattails of COVID-1.
Right. Omicron is like second marriage Gen Xers. That's what Omicron is. And eventually we'll get to Gen Z, which will be even more disappointing. But that's beside the point. And you're going, Cade, are you disappointed that a virus wasn't worse than what was predicted? And the answer is kinda, maybe a little bit.
Haven't decided yet.
I have.
Give it a few days.
How about I'm agnostic when it comes to whether or not the COVID-19 virus should have been worse. And to all those people who may have lost somebody during the virus, that is sad, of course. But, hopefully you got some money.
Hey, I got about 12 hunch from that.
Well, if my grandma died from COVID, hopefully she's got a life insurance policy. Hopefully, and if you didn't collect any check, then hopefully it was someone you didn't like. I don't know. I almost lost.
There are a lot of people that don't like their grandparents, and
for good reason, and also because of jealousy. But that's beyond the point.
They're weak.
And that's beyond the point.
Poor.
Yeah, I think the ticker, we're over 600,000 people, which is a lot of people. But it's one of those things is when you get to a certain amount of people who died, it's not the tragedy becomes not as crazy anymore, because 9/11, people think that's way sadder than COVID-19, because the thing is after 9/11 you couldn't get on a plane, but after during COVID you could be I'm not fucking wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. It's not daunting. Well, in Australia it is, because they'll break down your door and steal your kids, but that is
they put you in a camp. Over
that's beyond the point, people. Europe has it really bad right now. But let's be honest, when does Europe not have it really bad? All they do is brag about their healthcare and stuff like that. But guess what? What they are is a dead and gone empire.
They're slum. They're a slum of the world.
When you look at a map of the Spanish Empire and you go, where did that go? It went away in about 5 years, and that's pathetic. We're at least gonna get 10, maybe, but
a peak.
We're gonna get 10 at our peak. I mean. And then China gets their turn. All these people, so many people are working we need more Spanish people. And I'm I'm learning Mandarin. I'm going for the top dogs. I'm doing sales right now. I'm in sales. So if you don't understand, obviously a lot of people who speak Spanish come into a store to buy things, to buy furniture specifically. But I'm looking for, Mr. Lau and Mrs. Lau, so they can ball out on their new $500,000 estate.
With you.
With me. They come on my journey. They come into my store and we go, and I speak perfect Mandarin. And they respect me for it. And they love me for it. They go, you have the right idea. You changed for our culture, not the other way around. And I go, welcome to our home. That's what I say. They come into a furniture store and I go, welcome to your home. But that's what people don't understand. I love it. I go to work and I just talk. I like talking about those things. Today I made a joke because I'm doing decent. I don't know.
You didn't tell anybody what your new job is.
I work at a furniture store. I sling furniture, a nicer furniture store, not one of those, used resale shops. And my boss, he says I'm doing a good job, and I just started, so that feels nice. But I just walk around. Sometimes I just go out to some of the older ladies there, or just some of the veterans. They've been doing sales for a long time, and I go, do you ever think that you were just gonna you've been doing selling furniture for a long time? They're like, yeah. They're like, I made a lot of money doing this, and they do make a lot of money slinging couches. And I go, I don't want to stop here. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I want to go on to something bigger. And they're like houses? You get into houses? And I said, I've got arms deals for the Saudis. And they look at me like I'm estranged. And I go, that's where the money is. You dumb bitch.
That's the glory. That's the glory.
I want to be in the desert with a fucking Toyota.
It's in that kind of
goddamn green crate on the back. And I sling off that fucking tarp. And there's just a bunch of those guys in those white, whatever they're called. Those robes with the turbans.
Sure.
And they just bust out mills, racks, and I go back and I take my plane back to Langley.
Like War Dogs, like that movie War Dogs.
Bills.
Unmarked bills
from the CIA
of many currencies.
You know where those unmarked bills are going? Straight to the Ghislaine Maxwell lawyer fees.
The Freedom Fund.
The Freedom
the bail
Fund.
Fee.
Everyone gave money to Kyle Rittenhouse, but we need it for our main bitch, Ghislaine Maxwell.
We need it. An innocent woman, really.
Listen, for those who don't know about the Ghislaine the Ghislaine Maxwell cum-stained Maxwell case. She is the former girlfriend of
concubine of Jeffrey,
Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. And obviously Jeffrey Epstein, not a good guy, was on a few charges for maybe having sex with a minor, a few here and there, and that's not good. And he, was suicided in a prison, which, I hope if there's like any weird thing, like when you die and you go to like whatever realm, and they're like, I hope they get there and they're like showing you your life, and they like take on the form of like a human so they can understand, like, so you feel comfortable, and you turn to them like, you guys have been here forever, and they're like, we've been here forever. We've met many humans. And then they turn to them and go, we have a few questions. And they just have like a clipboard out. And like, we like to do studies on different cultures that are kind of like where you're on the realms you're popping out of. Is it like a weird custom that people kill themselves and then everyone agrees they weren't murdered? And you're like, what? And they're like, yeah, we get these people who come here to the same realm where you are, standing where you are, and they scream off their heads that they were murdered. And then we like kind of zoom in on like the news feed coming from the realm, and everyone says they were suicided. They killed themselves. So
like, are you okay with this? Did you agree to this beforehand?
Is this like, do you put the fake suicide right next to Christmas? Is this like kind of what you do every year? Is it a custom? But no, Jeffrey Epstein, whether or not he killed himself or not, it doesn't really matter. It
does definitely.
He didn't kill himself. I mean,
Jarod,
that's
Jarod
totally
with no
100.
provable evidence is making a claim on the podcast that would make us be called fake news and crazy right-wing conspiracy theorists. But I would like everybody to know that I am a feminist. I'm a third-wave progressive.
And that's why we support Ms. Maxwell.
And also, why
in the movement she's the hopefully the new spokesperson for when she sees freedom.
Listen, she is being accused of maybe pimping out young women to rich people, and that's a lie. But that doesn't really matter whether or not it's a lie. But they have these like women on stands, and like they're talking about like gaslighting like these women, that they're lying, that they're just like gold digging whores, which is literally one of the defenses that they're going to use. They're going to use a defense that these women are first of all, false memories is one of them. Yeah. Gold diggers, just liars, that they were paid, which I love that. They were paid. So, hey, hats off to Ghislaine. And hats off to all those involved. You did it. It's famous. One of those weird things. You get in these mindsets that what happens in an extremely capitalist country is that you have biases towards wealth and people with or without them. Because sometimes you see people who they look like they don't have a lot of money, and you might think that they're dangerous, but really they just don't have a lot of money. They really just can't afford nice clothes. Maybe they're working hard, just like many other Americans. But for whatever reason, when you see like that middle class, like if you see a guy or a girl making like $70,000 a year, maybe they're living in the suburbs, they're like, that's an average Jack there. You don't think anything of it. They're just an average Joe. Meanwhile, their parents are debating whether or not they should buy a gun for their 17-year-old so you can go to a school in Michigan and start a little ruckus. But that's beyond the point, because
those are the kind of people that are the most deeply like it's just boiled hatred and like deep, dark, dangerous things,
because they never get it out.
They never get it out,
unlike the ultra rich.
Because the ultra rich, all the ultra rich and the ultra poor are kind of like forced through our system to get it out in some way.
Right? Whether
they can get it out by playing like a video game that they can afford.
Like people
or watching.
People who've been cheated their whole lives. Their parents were fucked up. They got like addicted to drugs or something. Like their life's been rough. They're like, fuck it. Maybe they turn to like a life of crime. And they just like get that energy out. And maybe they go to prison, and that is what it is. Obviously, many institutions have failed them, and that also is what it is.
And the one that's supposed to rehabilitate them will also fail them.
Right. I don't make the rules. And I personally don't think it's fair that people who have had a silver spoon can do all the same things and go to really nice rehabilitation places, and when they do something naughty, anyone who's involved, they can just make disappear. That's obviously purely that's white privilege. But being able to disappear anybody you want in your life is privilege. So, but when you look at the middle,
but it's a privilege that I desire.
No, it's about control. This is about having control over one's dynasty. So,
I mean, Gen Z might be the next. I mean, if we can get our money up and our funny up, we could maybe be the next American dynasty. We could be a true American dynasty.
I want to make a point though. I've had not a lot of money in my life. I think now would be considered lower class. But now that I'm living on my own, I think I still get considered lower class. But when I was even with my family, I was lower class for sure. And what's interesting about that is like I got to meet a lot of people who also didn't have a lot of money. Some people who were on the brink, and you know what? They're fun. There's just something about, like when the world, just things don't go the way they're supposed to. They get a roughness to them. They get a sense of humor. There's a
sense of humor that they don't, it's the kind of humor where they don't care if what they say is going to offend you. Unless it's like really bad, unless
Nah, man, they're just.
But they'll try to fix it with like less offensive humor that's still on the brink of offensive. They'll try to like pull back, but like
right,
you can feel the kindness in their voice when they do that. You can feel like the understanding, even though they're literally they're on the brink. There's on the cliff.
Good stories of bad lives.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's most movies.
That's what it is, and that's okay.
That's
and
most 20th
God bless them, and hopefully things will change. But in the meantime, when I've interacted with many of them, they've been great companions. And I say them like I'm trying to put them in a different group. I am part of the them. But I just find it kind of interesting when it comes, because it's an interesting class dynamic that we don't really talk about. That it's just people with not a lot of money are much funnier. They're more enjoyable to be around. Sometimes they get a little rowdy, but that's part of the fun. Going to some dive bar, sometimes being miserable, but letting out a little bit of a dirty side. And that's America. A dive bar in the Midwest on a cold night, walking out at 1 a.m. and smoking a Marby Red.
A black spirit.
Right.
Well, those are the we're young enough, and even though we kind of live in a little bit of a lower class, we're not wealthy. We're not even close.
Clearly. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in Thailand right now.
Had to outsource it.
We had to get some perspective coming to Thailand.
Our studio got condemned. There's always oppression from the top down.
It never ends. It's relentless. Even on us, we're doing things for the community. We're supporting other artists. But the older people that I think we've run into who are definitely lower class but have that edge to them, they have literally worn that outfit for years, and it's changed them as a person.
They should get naked.
Like, that's why they are that. They
should get naked.
DMT. I mean, lots of things can get you naked.
Listen, I've never met anyone with like a lot of money. Have you ever met anyone with like baller? I'm talking about baller status.
One of my sort of related, extended uncles.
I would want to eat them.
Is very rich.
I want to take a chomp out of them. Like, that's what would happen. I'd probably get like really jealous, and as like they turn around, I'd probably nip their neck.
I'd take a ring, take a watch. I'd see. There's probably YouTube videos about how you can kind of slip. How you can probably slip a watch or a wrist or something off of people, or a bracelet or something.
Drug them, steal their car keys, steal their car, go home wearing their clothes, and giving their wife a kiss on the cheek, and then she realizes it's not them because she's
have sex
also in this weird crazy
drugging. They're consenting.
I wasn't talking about the drugging. I'm saying
no, we don't
you don't have to drug them.
Let's be clear.
Just like
if they're consenting.
The drug of love, make them fall for you, and give them
go to their house.
Give
rich,
you your identity, because you can be lower class and have a rich mentality. Sometimes you're just born and your mind is a certain class.
Some of those people are annoying.
Some of those people are the worst people.
They hustle.
Some of those people should stay in their lane, though. I mean, I'm just saying if you don't have an estate in the Hamptons, can you really be balling? Are you really balling if you don't have an estate in the Hamptons?
Well,
or Beverly Hills.
If you're not rich in spirit, and those people who are, who think they're upper class and are not, they're not rich in spirit or character. They're like, they're rich in themselves. They're like, their wealth is, they think it's like their mind and their skills, and that's cringe.
Do you ever heard anyone?
That's cringe.
You ever heard anyone brag about having like a home theater?
Yeah, like 3 yesterday.
Dude, it's so boring.
Literally 3 people yesterday.
It's so
Or last
boring
week or something.
It's like, what do you watch? They're like, I watch Marvel movies, and it's like,
Pulp Fiction.
Your
I watch Inglourious Bastards.
your house should be broken into.
Zootopia.
We should invite them to Thailand so their house can be cleaned out.
Reservoir Dogs. Inception.
I really like Inception.
Interstellar's my
It's
favorite.
like it's literally like every DiCaprio movie. It's just
Marley
like
and Me.
no, it's all if it's ever a dude, it's like, what's your favorite movie? He's like, I love Wolf of Wall Street. And then it's just, I love Wolf of Wall Street.
I wanna get lunch with that guy. The Mask is one of my favorites.
No.
It's such a
It's so bad.
the sequel though. No, the fucking
the Mask
with Jim Carrey when he's the
that's
green.
horrendous.
That's a class. That's like 90s classic.
We watched that again recently because we were like, yeah, this movie is fucking awesome. It is terrible.
It's
man.
terrible?
There's so much misogyny. It's insane. Like, all of the comedy is just like misogyny, like over and over again. I'm just like, I remember watching it as a kid. And I'm like, I thought this was I guess I didn't like realize what they're actually saying.
It's okay, Bryce. You were institutionalized
I
from a
was.
young age.
Yeah.
As men, we need to
Understand
We
our
need to
own
burn these people.
biases. Understand our own biases and the culture that we have inherited
Right.
upon the earth. We need to break it down and recreate into something new, into something like freeing Ghislaine Maxwell, into something like
free.
everyone wanted to free Britney Spears. You know, like I got to be honest, I never met Britney Spears, so I don't know whether she should be let out or not.
She's free now.
She is free now. We should free everybody.
She's been free.
Woody
That's gonna take
Allen,
a month.
Britney Spears.
That's gonna take a fucking month.
I saw her on her Instagram, like just being like, fuck, shit, bitch, like just swearing.
I got sent that TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening.
She should
Looks
go
like
on
she's in the
Rogan.
You
nicest-
sent me that.
What?
Did you send me that?
I thought you sent me that.
She should go on Rogan.
She should. She probably will.
Why hasn't she? Maybe New. That's gonna be his New Year.
Joe Rogan doesn't want Britney Spears on.
Oh,
he had
yes, he
Miley
does.
Cyrus
You kidding
on.
me?
That's like three. That's
Yeah,
like 3 shades grayer.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus wasn't condemned in her home though either. To be
Well,
fair,
I
all
think
all she did
I'm
was
calling
swing from a wrecking ball and show her tits from time to time.
No, she was good, but like,
yeah, she's good.
but like, so was Britney Spears for a minute.
Yeah, but who cares?
I say she's
Who cares
good.
about Miley Cyrus?
I like
both
Miley
good.
Cyrus. You remember Party with Miley? Didn't that buddy?
Yeah.
Ever we want. And then, do you know that song? You remember that?
No.
And we won't stop.
I remember that.
And we can't stop.
God, that's just a mind virus. It's cool, but it's just a mind virus.
That's a good song. I will go on record.
She has bangers, dude.
That album
Literally,
is
that's-
called
yeah,
Bangers.
exactly.
The album is called Bangers. I respect it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the Spotify Wrapped came out, and I was really pleased by my top 5. Number 1, I loved it.
I was pissed. I was happy, but I was also a little pissed.
Number 1.
I was pissed because it showed me how. I'll get into it after you go through yours. It revealed some dark secrets for me.
I had King Giz, Playboy Cardi, Kanye West, 100 Gex, and Kendrick Lamar, and I was very pleased with
Jesus.
myself. I like patted myself on the back when it came out, and I was like, "You did a good job this year. You did good." I was so proud of myself.
Mine was I was proud of myself too because like I had really wanted King Giz to be like I wanted to really like dive into their discography, and I did, and they were my number 1 artist. And then after that was Alex G. So
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
good, it's fine. No, after that was Bully. After that was Paramore.
Nice.
After that was Slow Pulp.
Those are good bands.
I know like I'm happy with my musical choices.
Why are you lying? Your number 1 was Bo Burnham.
Get Oh,
You just
Bo.
listened to Inside on repeat.
I did though. It's a good album.
I had 2 songs on my Your Songs from the Year. I had 2 songs on there. I had Welcome to the Internet and what's the one with the puppet?
Boyo?
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but it's like when he's like when he's like,
that is how the world works.
how the world. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
That is how the world works. Genocide.
Hope
The
you learn.
natives say you got to them first. That's how it works. I love that.
I hope you learned your lesson.
Oh.
I did, and it hurt.
It's a good. That was good.
He was on my top songs playlist thing, but my number one song, and you remember this time, my number one song was "Waiting for You" bonus track off of Alex G's DSU album, and we played that at an open mic a couple months ago.
It was a good time.
But I played that song probably a million times a day for like 3 months straight.
You want to go to an open mic?
Yeah, what day is it?
There's one on Friday.
Okay.
No. There's like a
Sunday.
real open mic on
really?
Friday
Where?
Here?
at Creative Space. Like an open, like
not the last time?
comedy only open mic.
Oh my God. Let's go do the podcast at it.
Dude, let's do
Let's
bits.
do it.
We'll just do bits. They'll bomb. They'll just
Oh, it'll be
fucking
great.
bomb.
It'll be awesome. We can
That's
get into
fun.
some shit.
You said Friday?
Yeah, we could try to go to that. I work, but I don't know if I open or
Hey,
close.
I also work.
If you're
Shut
watching
up.
this
No,
right
we can't.
now,
We can't go.
go to see it on Friday.
Never mind. Cardi's on Saturday. Take it back.
I can't even go to
Like-
Saturday. I can't, Cardi. I told you that.
I'm going.
I work Saturday. That's fine.
I work Saturday too. I'm be like, when you feel like this, can nobody tell you shit? I love Cardi. Everyone thinks it's like it's a stupid. It's not intelligent, and I just accuse them of being racist. And I think that's the appropriate response because Cardi is good American culture, and they're just making a statement that they don't want him a part of it. And I say, shame on you. I went to college.
They're gatekeeping culture. You can't do that.
They can't do that.
You can't do that.
You're excluded. Sorry, you don't want to have fun with everybody else.
You're
sorry.
dumb.
Sorry. Look up videos of how much fun everyone's having. You want to be a hater? Go be a hater.
You
go
suck.
be a hater in your little troll den.
Kill yourself.
You fucking loser.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. You're
Enough.
lame. You're dumb.
You're done.
cringe.
You're done.
You're done.
Moving on.
go.
I read an article about how the some court couldn't rule on killer robots because they can't define what a killer robot is.
It means a robot that's already killed half the amount of people that were killed in Iraq. Like you have to get to a number before you're considered. So like 200K.
That's not even close.
That's not even. I know.
So it's like 600,000.
No, it was like 500K in Iraq.
That's like 600,000.
That's the amount.
So it's
That's
just
Dude, he
not-
was
Wait.
up by 100,000. Big.
How do we freak out about 600,000 COVID deaths, but not 600,000 deaths in people in Iraq?
That's
just saying.
It wasn't
guys.
in Iraq. It was the Middle East.
Iraq
but
is
you
in the
are-
Middle East.
You are right. And he's got a point.
They hit Baghdad
Yeah, no,
pretty hard.
absolutely.
No, you got a point.
Just saying.
Because we're
Both bad.
selfish. And even though we pretend to care about old people who get COVID, even though we stuff them in nursing homes where the entire nursing home gets swept
I'll
out,
stuff them in a closet. I
we
don't give a
stuff them in places where they get beaten and abandoned. We
beat
don't.
with soap.
That's just what America does. It goes, if there's a things we care about list, brown people is pretty low. And I don't make the rules. I'm just stating a fact about the
It's
culture.
not you saying that. It's
Right.
No, it's America doing it. It's not me saying it. It's literally having evidence of us not caring. And so if you're saying we don't care about 600,000 people who died in the Middle East versus 600,000 COVID deaths, which mind you, some people don't care about that either. I'm not surprised because remember that war was for our freedoms.
right.
Yeah, I take back what I said. Honestly, you gotta,
Those men,
they made a lot of good video games.
The 14, yeah, Call of Duty.
COVID won't.
Make any good video games.
No.
What a toxic podcast.
Bad vibes in Thailand.
It's the
Bad
energy.
vibes.
You would think this background of this wonderful, Hawaiian, beachscape would really put us in a good mood, but in reality, it just makes me wonder. Like, it was a whole article on killer robots, and it was just like I was reading it. First of all, it felt like a 5th grader wrote it, and also like I guess a lot of articles have to be on like an 8th grade reading level, just like the newspaper. That's not a joke. That's like the reality. That's why when you're reading it, they'll have like onomatopoeias in them. Boom, pow. Trump got COVID. Kapow. Like, oh, shit.
News articles are about 5 years from just being comic books. Just being
Just pictures.
picture
No,
books.
dude,
Just
it's
pop
gonna
ups.
be fucking hieroglyphics pretty soon.
Just like
But
Monkey noise.
No, they're getting rid of the comic section. It's just gonna be that's the news.
That's the
you just
news.
see like the New York Times. It's just a bunch of like, it's just like caricatures of like Trump like doing like silly things, and people are like, that's crazy. And they're just like
mad.
foaming at the mouth. They're like, look at how silly he's being.
Yeah, what, holding a newspaper? What year is it going to be?
No, like iPads on their phones. They're like getting so mad.
I bet in the VR, in the metaverse, when you read the news, you're going to get to have like a virtual newspaper and feel like you're all posh, all like...
Dude,
you
I
know.
hope Playboy comes
so.
back when VR gets
Oh.
big. Wouldn't that be kind of cool if you could like read the news and then
They
it's
will.
just like... But I hope it's like a... What's it called? I hope it's an inclusive Playboy. I hope like some page you take,
Yeah, I like-
you
yeah,
turn
bush
and there's just
and
like
no bush.
a huge nice like fucking big pair of tits, and then you turn another page and there's a big fucking 3D cock coming out of the fucking thing, like right in your face.
Imagine like a sexuality non-specific
yes.
Playboy, and like bush non-specific.
And if
Like,
people
I want some
aren't-
bush or no bush.
And if some people aren't into
You know.
dick, they should still read it, because then it's like you're playing like Russian roulette. You're like, is this one
It's
going to
a
be
game.
is this the one I like, or is
What-
this the one I don't?
Right.
And then it's just like whomp,
Whomp.
like this fucking big hog just fucking comes out of the page. That'd be great.
Because it'll be 3D. I mean, you'll feel it it'll hit your lap. You know what I mean? Or it'll poke you in the nose or
Wow,
something
it's
like that.
meaty.
I love that. Love that. I mean, Playboy's going to come back because, I mean, the Jeffrey Epstein thing's happening right now. And they're a little too close to that.
Yeah, well,
You ever have a mansion? You ever have a mansion of like women and some prostitutes and performers who hang out and party and do drugs?
and some of
and-
them were definitely like raped.
yeah, by like
Hugh Hefner.
Hollywood actors and
Oh, yeah.
politicians and just celebrities.
Oh yeah.
That's
Not
probably
good.
And you ever have like a
normalized, yeah.
women's lingerie mogul? You know, like probably make most of the clothes of these women. You ever see that? You ever
about that?
You ever heard about that? Like, did you know that?
People don't understand. They don't understand. They don't know who Les Wexner is. Les Wexner is the CEO of like a big company that also owns Victoria's Secret, who was his personal financier was Jeffrey Epstein, and there's a lot of good evidence that there was some silly things going on between there.
He did give him a house.
He gave him a mansion in New York that then ended up being the mansion with cameras and recording equipment all over it that was used for blackmail, and we just swept that under the rug. This country's really good at sweeping things on the rug.
it.
Just like we sweep away thousands of people who die in the Middle East and thousands of people who die in COVID. So hey, just because we
Died
make
from suicide and heart
just be-
disease and tobacco and school shootings and home invasions.
just
and
because
all of
we make a little silly rinky-dink podcast in the basement of Thailand about some of the horrendous things happening in this country, we're not the perpetuators, and we have no degree to really expand on any of them.
And we really want to fix it. That's why we're doing this. And that's why we left and fled to Thailand.
Yeah,
That's why we're here right
we're
now.
under prosecution.
You got to take a step back sometimes from the situation. Maybe how does it? How are we? 1,000 to 3,000 miles? Probably 4,000 miles away. You got to take a 3,000 mile step back.
We took our 100,000 a month Patreon and brought it to Thailand. But now people are going to be pissed because the posting times are going to be really weird because we're on the other side of the country. But hey, they'll walk
make
it
it
off.
work.
We'll work it out. We'll make it work.
Sweet.
But I don't know. So that's good. In the news, school shootings, COVID, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Pedophile sex rings, a lot of stuff.
This is a good time to be alive. I don't know, people. You just have to.
Christmas is coming up though.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did.
I
did.
went to your Thanksgiving.
You were there.
I made.
You want to talk about what you said to my sister and her fiance? Would you like to talk about this?
We're at 35 minutes right now.
Okay, we can
And this is a
close.
short
we can
one.
close with this.
No, we can't close with this.
We can't.
I think we should wrap it up.
I didn't say anything naughty. I kind of did. It doesn't matter.
Don't. I'm not telling the story. You guys imagine what Cade might have said to my millennial sister and her millennial fiance, and let us know in the comments.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's good.
Let us know in the comments. What do you think he said?
And then we'll reveal it maybe next time.
They give me that pity laugh. You were losing. You thought it was,
I died. I my food fell off my fork when you said that.
It was really funny. I thought it was a great bit, and they just kind of gave me this uncomfortable laugh, and I almost assaulted both of them with the turkey. I almost grabbed the turkey leg
Bonk
and
him
just
over the
fucking
head.
bonked them over the head. How embarrassing. Also, one more quick tip before we end this. Don't experiment on Thanksgiving, you fucking miserable bastards.
And don't do it on Christmas either. Yeah, that's even bigger.
Yeah, this is gonna be a 2 strikes you're out kind of deal, not 3 strikes. Some of you celebrate Hanukkah. Some of you don't celebrate Christmas. Some of you celebrate Christmas and Christmas Day, and some of you celebrate Christmas Eve. Many religions. I'm trying to be all inclusive here, but here's the thing. I imagine everyone has the same concern, but when the family pulls up to give each other the Omicron variant this Christmas, and everyone's presents are late because of the supply chain issues and the post office's crippling structure, take some of the load off and don't put raisins in the stuffing, you whores. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Happy Fauci Day.